Yo, you know what time it is, don't you, boys and girls? Oh, yeah. Now, you remember the Atari project that I worked on the last video? Well, we're going to be working on another Atari project that I think you're going to like a whole lot. But at first, we're going to be tackling this nice vanilla whiskey. Let me tell you, this is some of the best shit I've ever had in my life. It's going to be delicious, but that's not what this video is about. Nah, this is about an Atari project that's been floating around at least 10 years on the internet. And some folks may know about it, some folks may not know about it, but that's okay. You're going to find out about it, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. This cool here on Dr. Crasher. Yeah. Here we are, back at the old computer museum. Now, man, I love this place, let me tell you. Now, one of the things you might have noticed, which begins tonight's episode, is the Atari Flashback 4. This unit right here. Let me tell you a story behind it. So when it comes to the story of my Flashback 4, I really enjoyed this little baby. I found it maybe about 10, 15 years ago. I don't know. But you know, it was really, really cool. I thought, look, it's got 76 built-in games, it's got wireless controllers. Heck, I don't know what my motivation at the time. I always had a couple bucks in my pocket, and when I'd find something that just fit my fancy, I'd go ahead and purchase it. So I went and I got this, and I think it sat on the shelf in my closet for a long time. But you know, back in those days, you could go and purchase these over at Dollar General. Now, Dollar General was kind of a cool little dollar store type of place, and they used to be nice, neat, clean, and so forth. They're not the horrible mess train wrecks that you run into nowadays. And I think during about the time that I purchased my Atari Flashback, I must have gotten my ColecoVision Flashback, which I thought was really cool, and along with that, my Intellivision Flashback. And man, I don't remember playing these. All I know is that I thought they were cool. They were around about 30, 40 bucks, something like that, something to collect and shove in my closet at that time. And you know what was really, really cool is that these were always offered at around about November or December during Thanksgiving, during Christmas. And I think they stopped selling stuff like this at these shops. But at least during these time periods, about 10 or 15 years ago, they used to always sell cool shit like this. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the economy. Go figure, right? Well, sure enough, when I was on Reddit here a couple weeks ago, I started reading that there used to be what was called the Atari Flashback 2. Now, of course, you would think that, oh, Atari Flashback 2, well, I've got the Atari Flashback 4. Who cares about the Flashback 2? Well, I started doing some reading, and it turns out that around about 10 years ago or so, people were actually modifying these to accept actual Atari cartridges. And I thought, what? BS. This is bullshit. Ain't no damn way. All these flashback units are all software emulators, right? Wrong. The Atari Flashback 2 actually had hardware emulation. So I started investigating, and I started looking at pictures, and sure enough, this thing was amazing. The Atari Flashback 2 had hardware emulation to it. And I started looking at units that people were modifying. They modified by having cartridges go in at the top of it. They put it on the sides of it, from the front, all kinds of neat shit that they were doing. And I thought this was absolutely amazing. So I started looking at the boards that are on these units. And I thought, hey, this is cool. Silk screened onto the board was the pinouts of where you could attach an edge card to the board itself. So I started looking at the boards, and you know, there was nothing special about it. They were very teeny tiny compared to the original Atari. And I thought, wow, alright, this is cool. It's got the pinouts on some of these examples, and in fact, some of it looked like, wow, this is really complicated, but not really complicated. It just had a lot of pinouts, and you have to be very careful and know what the hell you're doing, not make any mistakes. Short something out and then fry your board, right? So I did more investigating into the types of cartridge, and sure enough, people were going and using the 3D printers to etch out their own edge card connectors. And they even had these kits, whereas you could go and overlay on top of your Atari, use an X-Acto knife and a Dremel tool, cut out a hole at the very top of it, and then start inserting your freaking cartridge ports. Wow, this was cool. Dude, I have to look more into this. So I decided to come over to YouTube. Hey, if you want to find out anything about anything, you go to YouTube. And just by chance, I handed over to Vintage Gaming Memories over there on that channel. And I looked at the title and it said 2023, Jimmy Ipock's card modded Atari Flashback 2. I looked at this and I thought, wow, totally blown away, right? This is really, really cool. This is really a neat place. And so after looking and studying and researching his site for a while, I decided to reach out to him in the email, because you never know. Even though the website's up, you never know if folks are still doing the modifications. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, Jimmy, you still doing modifications and stuff for the Atari Flashback 2? He replied back and said, yeah, still doing that. Here's the price for it. Let me know what you think. And you know what? The price that he gave it to me for was unbelievable. It was lower than what was being shown on the website, and I thought, man, this is great. Because after looking at all those crazy board connections and all of this, there is no way in hell it would take me hours and hours to probably go ahead and do all these connections and put one together myself. Why not let a master, an absolute professional, an artist of this profession of modifying an Atari Flashback 2, why not let them do this? So I get over here on my Facebook, come over and I start doing a search, and I start looking up Jimmy Ipock. And sure enough, I found that he has a Facebook page too. And I started scrolling through there, and I saw pictures of Jimmy. I thought, holy shit, this guy looks like a badass. Look at him. You put a hat on him, he's an admiral out at sea. If not anything else, he looks like a James Bond villain. I love this guy already. I love him. Dude, you've got to be kidding. And while searching through his Facebook, sure enough, I ran into pictures that showed him for 10 years. He had been doing modifications for the Atari Flashback 2, and I knew that I had my right guy. This was the guy that was doing all that magic out here in the Atari industry. And you know, it's folks like Jimmy that we have to give a great, big, giant, huge thank you to for keeping the dream alive when it comes to Ataris and modifications and enhancements that are going out in this industry, because it's very, very important to keep this stuff alive. Besides, anyways, one of the great things I loved about old Jimmy is that it looks like he's got a Commodore CBM computer. That I've got a Commodore Educator 64. So yeah, we look kind of similar right there. And besides, anyways, we both love Star Trek. Man, what an honor and a privilege. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy me an Atari Flashback 2, and I think I'm going to go ahead and send it to Jimmy, and let's see what kind of a surprise gets popped out. So I head on over to eBay, my most favorite place to shop in the whole wide world. And sure enough, some good person had one posted up there for $24 with free shipping. Oh man, are you kidding me? I can't turn this down. So I went ahead and bought it. A couple days later, I received it here at the house. Man, talk about happy. The shipping was quick, and you know, the box looks really, really nice. So I go ahead and I open up the box. Hey, everything looks in order. Everything's looking really cool. I pull out the Atari, and you know, this thing looks so sweet. Look at this. This is really cute. I like it. Heck, I even like it better than the freaking Flashback 4 that I've got over in the museum. It just looks classy. It's got that wood grain look on it. Now, I know I'm mostly a Darth Vader kind of guy, but I do like the wood look. At least they try to keep it original, right? So I open up the back of it and go inside and start looking at the board, and sure enough, this thing looks legit. Over at Jimmy's side, he talks about 4 types of these systems, all right? And one of them, of course, was some kind of Chinese knockoff that was sold at Kroger's. Well, I just want to make sure that I didn't get the knockoff, and sure enough, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like I got the knockoff. So I'm going to package this thing up. I'm going to send it to Jimmy, all right? Let's see what happens. So I shipped the Atari off to Jimmy, and before I even knew what happened, he had this thing fixed in less than a day. I'm actually an evening, and he had it ready the next morning, shipped it out. Good God, Jimmy, you got this to me in a matter of days. How the hell you pulled that off, I don't know. But all I got to say is, wow, look at this. Dude, you did a hell of an amazing job. Folks, this is a work of art. Jimmy, my God, I can't believe you did such a great job. Dude, this doesn't even look like a modification. It looks like it came right straight with the unit out of the box. My friend, I am so glad that I went and asked for your help in getting these services, because if I had tried to do this myself, it would have been a total disaster. My friend, I'll owe you one. Thank you so much. Let's plug the old Frogger in and see how it works. So here we go. Into the cartridge port it goes. Let's flip that power button and... ha-ha! Look at that. Good grief. Look at that clear screen. Oh my God. Frogger lives again. That never made sense. Why the hell does the frog go splat when it hits the water? Frogs love water. They live in it. Jeez. What the hell? That's okay. Let's fire up the Pac-Man. After all, this was a piece of crap back in its time, but it was sure one of the most popular games ever. Let's fire it up and see what it looks like. Jesus. Great screen. All right. Here comes the gameplay. Yeah, piss on you too, Pac-Man. Your mother was an arcade game. Get the hell out of here, you piece of junk. Ha! Let's go for something else. Now here's the real reason why I bought the Atari Flashback. Star Raiders. This baby, oh my goodness. I needed this because not only does it use a joystick, but it uses this number pad. And it doesn't seem like any of the systems that's out nowadays that does emulation actually works with this damn thing. I swear to God, it pisses me off. This thing you can turn on and off the shields, the computer, go into hyperwarp, look at the galactic map. I hope this works, because if not, it's just a piece of junk. Anyways, let's try it out, fire it up, see if it works. Well, we got it running. However, the problem is, though, is it's been 40 years since I played this thing. And from what I can remember, we could use to be able to go and turn on and off the computer and do other things with this. Now, it looks like with the number pad, I can get to like the front of the screen at forward view, and I can get to the map. But when it comes to the map, I can't really move anything around on the map to try to get to the star base. I can't hyperspace in through things, can't turn on and off the computer. I don't know exactly what's going on, but there's some parts it looks like on the screen that I can't move around. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you guys know how to play this game, or remember, I sure would like to know it, because I'm supposed to be able to move some stuff around here on the galactic map to get to the starbase. But nope, it's not letting me. But it looks like it will fire, and it looks like it will switch some of the screens. It just won't do some of the things that I want to do, or that I remember it doing. Oh well, maybe I can try again some other time. Maybe it's my number pad is all screwed up, I don't know. But either way, I guess it's a dud. Damn it.
Gee whiz, Dr. Crusher, why don't you play Star Master from Activision? Star Master was so much more better than Star Raiders. I don't even know why you're wasting your time messing with that silly controller and stuff, because you didn't even have to have it with Star Master.
Hey, I don't want to hear any crap out of you. If I did want crap out of you, I'd squeeze your head. Look, there's no nostalgia with Star Master. I didn't play Star Master. I played Star Raiders. I liked the controller. I liked the games. I liked the little comic book crap that came with it. That was a nice thing for me. So you know what? If I want my Star Masters, I would have got ahead and got my Star Masters. But I didn't. I wanted my Star Raiders. And Star Raiders is going to be what I'm going to get. And if you don't like it, too bad. Go play your mama's like Super Breakout or something like that and leave me the hell alone. Because when I hear you going and talking about Star Master one more time, I'm taking your Star Master game, I'm throwing it into the backyard where your dog can use as a chew toy. Got it? Good. Now let's continue. Now we get to run the most important test of all, the mystery cartridge. Do y'all know what it is yet? It is the Harmony Encore cartridge. Sometimes it's just the Harmony cartridge. This cartridge is very, very special. And for the most part, this cartridge does not run on some of the modern cartridge game systems that's out there. It's great because it uses what's called an SD card. And on that SD card, you can put every game in the known universe on this thing and run it on your normal Ataris. However, like I said, most systems won't run, modern systems that is, won't run this damn cartridge on there. Well, we're about to find out whether or not the Flashback 2 will run the games that's on this thing. Let's find out. Well, the moment we've been waiting for. Let's plug in the cartridge, turn on the power, and see if it works. Well, I be damned. Sure enough, the Harmony cartridge with its screwed up stupid fonts actually works on the Atari Flashback 2 with the Cartridge Modification. This is some good news. Well, at this point, let's see if we can get some paddle games working on this thing. You know what? I'm going to try Night Driver. Let's go find that freaking game and see if this works. Haha, this should be really, really fun. I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. This is good. And there we go. There's our Night Driver. Let's load it. See if it works. Oh yeah, look at there. We have Night Driver. Now there's something I've got to warn you about. In the original Atari from the 1980s, they used these driver paddles. This is what was used to play with Night Driver. But unfortunately, these modern systems, they seem to have forgotten these and instead are using the paddle controllers that used to be used for Super Breakout, Circus Atari and all that. And by the way, whenever you're starting to use these paddles, you've got to actually sometimes have to adjust them and actually mess around with the knobs a little bit in order to get it, to get the system to go and recognize the silly things and to kind of adjust with the potentiometers that's built into these paddle games. So sometimes you have to work with it. You'll get a couple of losses. You hit the reset button a couple times from some games, but eventually the system will learn about the paddle and you'll be able to start playing your games with no problems. Sure enough, the Night Driver works great, and by the way, there doesn't seem to be any hesitation or delay in the gameplay. I'm really, really, really shocked. This is very good, just like the original Atari. Alright. Now next, what I'm going to have to do is change out the paddle for the joystick so I can get through the Harmony cartridge, try to find Kaboom, which is the game that we're going to be trying to test out next on this thing. So after using the joystick, I got to pull it out. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take the paddles and we'll go ahead and plug the paddles in there and get all ready to start playing Kaboom. Let's hope this works really well too. Well, there's my paddles. Looks like everything is normal, just like the original Atari from the 1980s. Let's fire it up and go. Launch. Here we go. Oh yeah. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Very smooth. No jumpiness, no hesitation. It's going through there with no problems being able to go and pick up those bombs. Let's go ahead and go to a faster level. Yep, I'm able to play that also. This is very, very good news, boys and girls. Now soon this damn game's going to get too fast for me to catch all those bombs, but for what I'm seeing so far, yeah, this is really great. No hesitation, no delay. It's a winner. So, how do I rate the Flashback 2 with the cartridge port? Well, when it comes to Jimmy, he's got a 20 out of 10. I'm telling you, he is the most awesome. The guy did a job that is just absolutely insane perfection. It's a work of art. In fact, I can't think of anything that is wrong with this. He did such an amazing job. Now, does it work with the joysticks? All the joysticks I tried that I have worked great on it. Does it work with the paddles? Sure, it works great with the paddles, even though it does have the situation with the driver's paddle. And of course, does it work with the Harmony cartridge? You bet. This thing has played every game off the Harmony cartridge I had, except for the PAL games. The PAL games are usually black and white on the screen, so if you're going to play a game on this, make sure it's NTFS, alright? Else, you're going to get black and white instead of color. So you've been warned, alright? Now when it comes to the little number pad that comes with the star raters, the verdict is still out for that one. It might work, mine might not work. I've got a couple of other pads. I'm going to test it out on it to see if it works, if it's a system. But either way, mine partially worked, so that's out for the verdict. I'm going to see if maybe there's others that are out there that have tried it and see if theirs have worked. But in the meantime, yeah, the verdict is still out on that one. Coming soon, a new modification for my old Darth Vader 2600. The system was upgraded with a new video component that absolutely was shit. Well, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to be putting in a new Luna system that is going to be absolutely amazing. And if I'm correct, it will blow away any kind of video that I could ever get from out of this unit. So stick around, stay tuned, soon coming near you, it's going to be the new video modification for the Atari 2600. Take care. Ha ha.